Hey, I am going to make my first recipe out of this fresh milled flour book that I just got the other day. Naturally, it's going to be a dessert. What else would it be? The neat thing about this book is if you're kind of really into milling your own, because all the recipes will tell you how much wheat berries you need. So say you need 3 cups of soft white, whatever, but it'll also tell you what that is in flour, which obviously it would make sense if they didn't, but I'm not quite there on the laundry chime. Not quite at that level of the milling of the flour, but I have my milled flour that someone else did. I'm going to start with a carrot cake with silky cream cheese frosting. I love a carrot cake. I love a soft carrot cake, so we'll see what this is like. Like I said, I keep doing recipes, regular recipes with fresh flour, and they're always a little bit, like they're just not right. You know what I mean? We have the flour, we have baking soda, cinnamon, salt. The recipes in this book call for vegetable oil. I don't use that stuff anymore, or canola oil. So you can use melted butter, yogurt, olive oil I use a lot normally, or coconut oil when it comes to baking. I have a little bit of avocado oil in a jug that I use for frying, because you can't use olive oil for frying. Normally I have olive oil, but the stuff is super expensive these days, so no home has 2 jugs of oil in it right now. No home has a jug of avocado oil and a jug of extra virgin olive oil. It ain't happening. You're not gonna have it. These alterations are usually where my recipes probably go wrong. Why is your recipe not turned out? Did you do this or this or this? Well, I just made a bunch of random changes. Anyway, the standard: brown sugar, white sugar, eggs, carrots, a can of crushed pineapple, and some chopped walnuts. If you are into nuts and things, we don't eat vegetables and stuff, but I will bake with them. And then there's a frosting, cream cheese frosting, package of cream cheese, some butter, powdered sugar, and vanilla standard cream cheese icing. Grating carrots, I have to do that. Maybe I can sucker someone into doing that, because grating carrots, if you haven't done it, it's really awful. They go everywhere. There's bits all over the place. Your counter gets stained orange. It's really terrible. So I have my flour. This is the kind of flour that I get. This one is called Daily Grind, which is kind of a soft and hard wheat for, I don't know, the average stuff. We have sugar, we have other sugar, we have 4 eggs, cinnamon, salt, and my Greek yogurt. And we got some butter, we got some cream cheese, carrots. And then while you're in the middle of grating these things that only just begin, you swear that you're never going to make a recipe with carrots again. And maybe these go in like a food processor. Maybe there's another way. I don't have a food processor, but are people grating carrots in different ways? We have about 3 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a half a teaspoon of salt. It's always okay to go a little heavier on the cinnamon, naturally. You could see this flour has a little more, or a lot more, body to it than the white dust of regular grocery store flour. So it's more dense and has kind of lumpy, just because it's holding together. It says to put the sugars and stuff in another bowl and then add everything, but I'm lazy and I don't like dirtying dishes, so the carrots are already here. I'm just gonna add everything right into that bowl. Yeah, so there's not really room to maneuver here. I know that I probably definitely have more than 3 cups of carrots, because did I measure it? I didn't really. 4 eggs. There's a cup of yogurt. Remember, I switched that out for the vegetable oil. Cup of white sugar, cup of brown sugar. And I'm going to try to slowly mix it together and not make it a huge, giant mess. And then I'm going to put it in with the flour mixture. You still need to add pineapple in there. That's definitely not fitting in there. I'll add the pineapple in when we transfer it over there. Oven gets set to 350, though it may not be hot enough. strained crushed pineapple, blammo. Stir it. Don't make a disaster. Mix it. Grease the pan. I will use my little bit of oil on hand to grease the pan. I don't buy Pam or spray stuff or whatever. Put in a little bit of oil or sometimes butter. It's the same thing except it's not aerosol chemical. So natural. There you go. You'll find when you use fresh milled flour that it has a taste to it. Obviously, stuff has a taste to it, but when you think of like the white, dusted, overbeaten flour that we normally use, you're not really tasting it. You're tasting what you're putting in it. But the fresh milled flour, sometimes it may seem like it has bitter, like it may be bitter or something, or maybe my tastes are off, and that's not it. Saying it's bitter doesn't make it sound very appealing, but it's just that there's a different flavor. So when you make these things, again, with how they work differently in recipes, they also taste a bit different, because again, we're not used to what like natural real flavor tastes like. It's all been worked out of everything, you know, from milk to flour to our fruits and vegetables. Barely even have taste in them when you buy them in the grocery store, right? Because they're picked, you know, they're not even ripe yet, they're not blah blah, we know all that story. Anyway, just a little side note for the fresh flour. All right, we're going in. Kind of looks like a brown, unappealing turd. But it says bake 35 to 40 minutes. I'm gonna bet you $5 it will require way more time than that, because my oven does not cook that way. But I'm gonna start on 40 because I know it well enough. The cake is looking like a golden beauty. Let's just sneak a peek. We'll see. We don't know if it's done. I'm gonna work on the frosting. We have a package of cream cheese, half a cup of butter. It says 2 teaspoons of vanilla, but I don't buy vanilla anymore. I have a little bit of maple syrup, and I use a little bit of almond flavor, or whatever you call it. And then it needs 4 cups of icing sugar. If you're not going to use it right away, don't put it in the fridge. Don't put it in the fridge, because you'll never put it on a cake properly. I mean, it looks beautiful. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, wow. A little bit, like a smidge. The center is always the tough part. Nope. $5. So then you start the little game of how much more time do I bake something? It's always that pesky center. Let's do, what are we gonna do? What do we do? 3 more? This is why my stuff is always overcooked and dry. And you have a bowl full of the most finest powder. One wrong move and it will be everywhere. Just slowly cut. No flicking, no patting, just cutting. Also make sure that your baked goods are cooled before you ice them. They tell you to do that and they mean it, because this all rips up and it's sticky. Mine is still sticky. Am I gonna try to ice it? I probably will, because I'm not patient. But your cupcakes, your cakes, all that, if this is still sticky, your icing is going to rip it off and it'll look dirty. And the next test will be, see if it's actually as good as it might look. I know I don't want to hear this, but it was probably cooked about 3 minutes too long. Yes, one of the extra 3 that it did need, maybe it didn't need. Just a slight too dry. Maybe the flavors merge better after it sits for a little bit longer, but I feel like it needed a little bit more spice, like more flavor, like a nutmeg maybe or something, not just cinnamon. But otherwise, in my opinion, anything with icing is usually pretty good regardless.